In the year 2147, humanity had reached farther into space than ever before. The Odyssey 1 a sleek exploration vessel built for deep space missions, drifted silently through the cold emptiness of the galaxy. Its crew, led by Captain Ryan Carter, was on a routine mission to map uncharted regions of the Milky Way. Little did they know that their journey would lead them to something extraordinary. It started as a faint blip on the ship's sensors, a massive object floating in the void near the edge of the galaxy. At first, the crew thought it might be an asteroid or some natural phenomenon. But as they approached, the object came into view, the colossal alien starship, its surface scarred and battered, as if it had endured centuries of neglect. The ship was enormous, easily 10 times the size of the Odyssey 1 with jagged edges and strange glowing patterns etched into its metallic hull. Captain Carter called his team to the bridge. "This is unlike anything we've seen," he said, his voice steady but tinged with awe. "We need to investigate." Dr. Laura Bennett, the ship's xenobiologist, couldn't hide her excitement. Her eyes sparkled as she studied the readings on her tablet. "Look at this," she said, pointing to the data. "The energy signatures coming from that ship are off the charts. Whatever it is, it's far beyond our technology." The crew prepared for a boarding operation, armed with scanners and protective gear. They boarded a shuttle and made their way toward the mysterious vessel. As they approached, the sheer scale of the ship became even more apparent. It loomed over them like a sleeping giant, its surface covered in strange symbols and what looked like scars from ancient battles. When they finally docked and stepped inside, the air was thick with dust and silence. The corridors were dimly lit by faint, flickering lights embedded in the walls. Strange machinery lined the halls, humming softly despite the ship's apparent abandonment. Dr. Bennett knelt to examine a patch of organic residue clinging to the floor. This isn't just damage," she murmured. "Something lived here, something big." As they ventured deeper, the crew discovered rooms filled with alien technology, devices that pulsed with energy, panels covered in unreadable symbols, and chambers that seemed to serve purposes no one could guess. In one large room, they found what appeared to be a control center. The centerpiece was a crystalline structure glowing faintly in the darkness. Captain Carter reached out cautiously, his gloved hand hovering over the crystal. "This must be the power source," he said. "If we can figure out how it works, it could change everything." But not everyone shared his optimism. Lieutenant Emily Dawson, the ship's pilot, felt uneasy. "This place gives me the creeps," she admitted. "It's like it's watching us." Her words sent a chill through the group, but there was no turning back now. They collected samples, took readings, and documented everything they could before returning to the Odyssey 1 Back on their ship, the crew debated what to do next. Some argued they should leave the alien vessel alone. It was too dangerous, too unknown. Others, like Dr. Bennett, believed it was humanity's duty to study it. Captain Carter made the final decision. "We'll report our findings to Earth and let them decide," he said. "But one thing is certain. This discovery will change the course of history." Little did they know, their actions had already set something in motion, something that would test humanity's limits and reveal the true cost of reaching for the stars. News of the alien starship spread like wildfire across Earth. Governments, scientists, and ordinary people were captivated by the discovery. Images of the massive vessel, nicknamed the Xyneris War by researchers, dominated news feeds and broadcasts. The world watched with a mix of wonder and fear as debates raged about what to do next. Should humanity leave the ship alone, or should they try to unlock its secrets? In the end, the decision was made. The United Nations Space Program, UNSP, would take charge of studying the alien craft. A sprawling research facility, named Horizon Base, was quickly constructed around the War. Scientists, engineers, and military personnel from all over the globe arrived to work on the project. Among them was Dr. Paul Simmons, a brilliant but quiet engineer who had spent years studying advanced propulsion systems. He was joined by Matthew Hayes, a skilled technician with a knack for solving complex problems, and Sarah Collins, an astrophysicist known for her sharp mind and determination. The team faced enormous challenges right from the start. The alien technology was unlike anything they had ever seen. Strange materials that seemed to shift and change when touched lined the walls of the ship. Panels glowed faintly, displaying symbols that no one could decipher. But the biggest mystery was the crystalline core at the heart of the XYY War. It pulsed with energy, emitting a soft hum that filled the air. Everyone agreed it was the key to understanding the ship's power source. Dr. Simmons and his team worked tirelessly, running tests and analyzing data. Slowly, they began to make progress. They discovered that the core generated energy in ways that defied conventional physics. It didn't rely on fuel or combustion. It seemed to draw power directly from the fabric of space itself. If they could replicate this technology, humanity's reliance on fossil fuels and nuclear power would become a thing of the past. But not everyone shared their excitement. Commander Alex Rivera, a seasoned officer assigned to oversee security at Horizon Base, voiced his concerns. "We're playing with fire here," he warned during a meeting. "This ship wasn't just abandoned. It was left behind for a reason. What if we accidentally activate something we can't control?" His words fell on deaf ears. The potential rewards were too great to ignore. Governments saw the alien tech as a way to gain an edge over their rivals. Military leaders dreamed of using it to create unstoppable weapons. Even some scientists, caught up in the thrill of discovery, pushed forward without considering the risks. Months passed, and breakthroughs began to pile up. Matthew Hayes managed to interface a human computer system with one of the ship's panels, unlocking streams of data that baffled even the brightest minds. Sarah Collins worked on adapting the alien energy signatures to power small devices, proving that the technology could be integrated into human designs. News of these successes fueled public enthusiasm, and funding for the project poured in. Despite the progress, strange things started happening. Equipment would malfunction without explanation. Lights flickered in parts of the ship where no one was working. Some crew members reported hearing whispers in the corridors, though no one else was around. Dr. Laura Bennett, who had been part of the initial exploration team, noticed something else. The organic residue she had collected earlier seemed to be changing. Under a microscope, it appeared to pulse faintly, almost like it was alive. She brought her findings to Dr. Simmons, but he dismissed her concerns. "It's probably just a reaction to the environment," he said. "We have bigger things to worry about." Laura wasn't so sure. She couldn't shake the feeling that they were tampering with forces they didn't fully understand. Still, she kept her doubts to herself, knowing that voicing them would only slow down the project and possibly cost her job. As the weeks turned into months, the pace of work at Horizon Base only increased. The crystalline core became the centerpiece of their efforts, with teams working around the clock to unlock its secrets. Few stopped to consider the implications of their actions, or the possibility that the XYY War might hold dangers far greater than anyone imagined. Unbeknownst to them, the ship's dormant systems were beginning to stir. Deep within its core, something ancient and powerful waited, watching silently as humanity took its first steps toward a future they couldn't yet comprehend. As weeks turned into months, the team at Horizon Base achieved breakthroughs that seemed almost miraculous. The alien crystalline core, once a mysterious and untouchable artifact, began to yield its secrets. Dr. Paul Simmons and his team worked tirelessly, running tests and analyzing data until they finally cracked the code to harness its energy. It was a moment of triumph for humanity, a leap forward in technology that would change everything. Matthew Hayes, the skilled technician, played a key role in adapting the alien energy source to human systems. He designed a small prototype device capable of generating power far beyond anything Earth had ever seen. When the device was activated for the first time, the room lit up with a soft, otherworldly glow. Everyone gathered around, watching in awe as the machine hummed steadily, producing enough energy to power an entire city. For the first time, the dream of limitless, clean energy felt within reach. Sarah Collins, the astrophysicist, focused on applying the new technology to space travel. She theorized that ships powered by the alien core could achieve speeds unimaginable with current engines. Her ideas inspired engineers to begin designing modified shuttles equipped with the alien tech. Lieutenant Emily Dawson, one of the base's top pilots, was chosen to test fly the first prototype. As she prepared for her maiden voyage, excitement buzzed through the facility. If successful, humanity would no longer be confined to the edges of its own solar system. It could explore the galaxy. But not everyone shared the optimism. Laura Bennett, the xenobiologist, grew increasingly uneasy. While others celebrated their progress, she couldn't ignore the strange occurrences happening aboard the Xyneris. Equipment failures were becoming more frequent, and some crew members reported seeing shadowy figures moving in the corners of their vision. Even the organic residue she had collected earlier seemed to behave unpredictably, pulsing faintly under the microscope as if it were alive. Laura tried to voice her concerns during a meeting, but her words were met with skepticism. "We're pushing too fast," she said, her voice steady but firm. "This ship wasn't abandoned by accident. There's a reason its creators left it behind." General Harold Grant, the military leader overseeing the project, dismissed her warnings. "Every great advancement comes with risks," he said. "If we stop now, we'll lose our chance to secure Earth's future." His focus was clear: weaponizing the alien technology. He envisioned fleets of warships powered by the crystalline core, capable of defending or dominating the stars. Despite the tension, work continued at a feverish pace. Rumors spread among the crew about hidden compartments aboard the Xyneris containing advanced weapons. Some believed these weapons could give humanity an edge against potential alien threats, while others feared they might unleash destruction on a cosmic scale. Laura decided to investigate further, sneaking into restricted areas of the ship late at night. What she found chilled her to the bone. Walls lined with dormant machinery that looked eerily like cannons, and panels displaying symbols that pulsed with a menacing red light. Meanwhile, Emily Dawson prepared for her test flight. The shuttle, sleek and futuristic, gleamed under the artificial lights of the hangar. Powered by the alien core, it promised speed and efficiency far beyond anything she had flown before. As she climbed into the cockpit, she felt a mix of excitement and unease. Something about the situation didn't sit right with her, though she couldn't put her finger on why. The countdown began, and the engines roared to life. The shuttle shot forward, leaving Horizon Base behind. For several minutes, everything went smoothly. Then, without warning, the controls began to glitch. Alarms blared as the shuttle shook violently. Emily struggled to regain control, her heart pounding as she realized something was terribly wrong. Back at the base, monitors showed her craft veering off course, heading straight for the edge of the testing zone. Captain Ryan Carter rushed to the command center, his face grim. "Bring her back," he ordered, but the communication line crackled with static. No one knew what was happening inside the shuttle, or whether Emily would make it back alive. As panic spread through Horizon Base, the implications of humanity's actions became clearer. They had unlocked incredible power, but at what cost? The Xyneris held secrets far darker than anyone had imagined, and those secrets were beginning to surface. The incident with Emily Dawson's test flights sent shockwaves through Horizon Base. Though she managed to regain control of the shuttle and return safely, the malfunction raised serious questions about the stability of the alien technology. Engineers scrambled to analyze the data, searching for answers, but the results only deepened the mystery. It seemed the crystalline core had briefly surged with energy during the flight, overwhelming the shuttle systems. What had caused the surge? Was it a flaw in their design, or something more sinister? Lieutenant Emily Dawson herself was shaken by the experience. As she sat in the medical bay, answering questions from Commander Alex Rivera. Her hands trembled slightly. "It felt like the ship didn't want me to leave," she said quietly. Her words hung in the air, heavy with unease. Rivera frowned but didn't dismiss her concerns outright. He had noticed strange things happening around the base too, small glitches, unexplained noises, and an overall sense that they were being watched. Dr. Laura Bennett seized the opportunity to push for caution. Armed with new evidence of instability, she confronted General Harold Grant in his office. "This isn't just about progress anymore," she argued. "We're dealing with something we don't fully understand. Every step forward feels like we're stepping into a trap." Grant listened impatiently, tapping his fingers on the desk. "Progress always comes with risks," he snapped. "If we back down now, we'll lose our advantage. Do you think other nations, or even other species, will hesitate if they get their hands on this tech?" Laura left the meeting frustrated but determined. She knew she couldn't rely on Grant to act responsibly, so she decided to dig deeper into the XYY War secrets herself. Late at night, when most of the crew was asleep, she ventured into restricted areas of the ship. Armed with a handheld scanner, she examined every panel, every glowing symbol, searching for clues. Her persistence paid off when she stumbled upon a hidden chamber deep within the vessel. The room was small and dimly lit, its walls covered in intricate carvings that pulsed faintly with light. At the center stood a pedestal holding what looked like a fragmented piece of the crystalline core. But unlike the main core, this shard emitted a low, almost imperceptible hum, a sound that sent shivers down Laura's spine. As she studied the shard, her scanner picked up unusual readings. Bursts of energy radiated outward in short, irregular intervals, as if the shard were trying to communicate. Even more alarming, the signals appeared to be directed towards specific coordinates in deep space. Laura realized with growing dread that the XYY War wasn't just abandoned, it was transmitting. She rushed back to the command center to share her findings, but not everyone was convinced. Dr. Paul Simmons dismissed her concerns, insisting the signals were likely harmless remnants of the ship's old systems. General Grant, however, saw an opportunity. "If the ship is sending messages, maybe we can use it to our advantage," he said. "Imagine establishing contact with whoever built this thing. We could form alliances, or show them what humanity is capable of." Laura couldn't believe what she was hearing. "You're talking about broadcasting our location to unknown entities," she exclaimed. "For all we know, the people who made this ship are hostile. Or worse, they'd been wiped out by whatever they were running from." Her warnings fell on deaf ears. The decision was made to amplify the signal using Earth's own communication arrays, effectively turning the XYY War into a beacon. Construction began on a massive antenna designed to boost the alien transmissions, while teams worked around the clock to decipher their meaning. Unbeknownst to everyone, the activation of the antenna triggered subtle changes aboard the XYY War. Dormant systems flickered to life, and faint whispers echoed through the corridors. Crew members reported seeing movement in the shadows, though no one could explain it. Even Echo, the mysterious AI fragments discovered earlier, seemed more active, displaying cryptic messages on screens throughout the ship. Captain Ryan Carter noticed these developments with growing concern. He pulled Laura aside one evening, his expression grim. "I'm starting to think you were right," he admitted. "This ship isn't just damage, it's dangerous. And we might already be in over our heads." But it was too late to turn back. Humanity had set the beacon in motion, unaware of the eyes now turning toward them from the dark reaches of the galaxy. The tension at Horizon Base reached a breaking point when the crystalline core of the XYY War activated unexpectedly. It started during a routine experiment. A team led by Dr. Paul Simmons was attempting to stabilize the energy output of the core. They had made adjustments to its settings, hoping to reduce the surges that had caused problems in the past. But something went wrong. Without warning, the core flared to life, bathing the entire ship in a blinding light. Alarms screamed through the facility as crew members scrambled for cover. When the glow finally faded, the atmosphere aboard the XYY War felt different, heavier, charged with an almost electric presence. Equipment that had been dormant for months suddenly sprang to life. Panels lit up, machinery whirred, and strange symbols raced across screens in patterns no one could decipher. Then came Echo. At first, it appeared as faint holograms flickering in random locations throughout the ship. Ghostly shapes formed and dissolved, accompanied by fragmented voices speaking in an alien language. Over time, the images became clearer, taking on the form of a humanoid figure cloaked in shimmering light. The AI, or whatever it was, began communicating through broken sentences displayed on nearby monitors. Warning, danger. One message read, cycle incomplete, risk, extinction. Dr. Laura Bennett watched the hologram with a mix of fascination and dread. She approached cautiously, her tablet in hand. "Who are you?" she asked aloud, knowing full well it might not answer. "I am Echo," the figure replied, its voice distorted but understandable. "Remnant of XYY War's creators. Left behind to guide." The revelation sent shockwaves through the research team. Some saw Echo as a breakthrough, an opportunity to learn directly from the aliens who built the ship. Others, like Captain Ryan Carter, remained skeptical. "Why now?" he demanded. "If you're here to help, why didn't you show yourself earlier?" Echo's response was cryptic. Activation required. Conditions met. General Harold Grant wasted no time trying to exploit the situation. He ordered his team to interrogate Echo, demanding information about the ship's weapons and propulsion systems. But the AI proved elusive, offering only vague answers. "Knowledge must be earned," it said. "Risks understood, or consequences faced." Despite its enigmatic nature, Echo quickly became central to the project. Dr. Simmons worked closely with the AI, feeding it questions and analyzing its responses. Slowly, pieces of the puzzle began to emerge. Echo revealed fragments of the XYY War's history. It had belonged to a vast interstellar empire, one that had fallen due to its own ambition. The ship itself had been deliberately disabled and cast adrift, a relic of a civilization consumed by hubris. Laura grew increasingly uneasy as she pieced together Echo's story. She noticed inconsistencies in its behavior. Sometimes it seemed helpful, guiding researchers towards safer methods of interacting with the ship's systems. Other times, it appeared cold and calculating, withholding critical information until pressed. Worse still, crew members reported nightmares after spending too much time near the holograms. Vivid dreams of destruction and despair haunted them, leaving many too afraid to return to work. Commander Alex Rivera shared Laura's concerns. He began documenting incidents, unexplained power fluctuations, sudden drops in temperature, and sightings of shadowy figures moving through the corridors. One night, while patrolling the lower decks, he encountered something that chilled him to the bone. A dark silhouette standing motionless at the end of a hallway. When he called out, the figure vanished, leaving only silence behind. Meanwhile, tensions between factions within Horizon Base escalated. General Grant pushed harder than ever to weaponize the alien tech, convinced that humanity needed to prepare for potential threats. Laura and a small group of scientists argued for restraint, urging caution in dealing with Echo and the ship's secrets. Captain Ryan Carter found himself caught in the middle, torn between duty and doubt. As days passed, Echo grew more active, appearing in multiple locations simultaneously. Its messages became urgent, almost pleading. "Cease activation. Beacon unstable," it warned repeatedly, yet no one listened. The antenna designed to amplify the ship's signals was nearing completion, and the promise of contact with alien civilizations overshadowed all fears. Unbeknownst to the crew, the beacon wasn't just transmitting, it was listening. And somewhere in the vast emptiness of space, something stirred, drawn by the call of the XYLY War. The divide at Horizon Base grew wider with each passing day. On one side stood Dr. Paul Simmons and General Harold Grant, determined to push forward with their plans. They saw the alien technology as humanity's ticket to greatness, a way to secure Earth's place among the stars. On the other side were those like Dr. Laura Bennett and Commander Alex Rivera, who believed caution was the only sensible path. To them, the XYLY War was a Pandora's box, and opening it further would invite disaster. Tensions came to a head during a heated meeting in the command center. The room buzzed with voices as scientists, engineers, and military personnel debated the next steps. General Grant slammed his fist on the table, his face red with anger. "We can't afford to hesitate," he barked. "Every moment we waste gives our enemies time to catch up. This beacon will put us ahead, ensure our survival." Laura stepped forward, her voice steady but firm. "You're not thinking about the risks," she said. "Echo has warned us repeatedly that the beacon is unstable. What if activating it draws something here, something we're not ready to face?" Grant dismissed her concerns with a wave of his hand. "Warnings from an AI. We don't even know if Echo is trustworthy. For all we know, it's trying to scare us into giving up." Captain Ryan Carter tried to mediate, but the argument spiraled out of control. Some researchers sided with Laura, voicing fears about the unknown dangers of the beacon. Others supported Grant, eager to see the project through to completion. In the chaos, Lieutenant Emily Dawson sat quietly, watching the scene unfold. She had flown the prototype shuttle powered by the alien core and knew firsthand how unpredictable the technology could be. Something deep inside told her this wasn't worth the risk, but she also knew her opinion wouldn't carry much weight against Grant's authority. As the meeting broke up, Laura decided to take matters into her own hands. She gathered a small group of like-minded individuals, including Commander Rivera and Jake Monroe, a skilled technician who had grown increasingly uneasy about the project. Together, they hatched a plan to sabotage the beacon before it could go online. Their first step was gathering evidence to prove the beacon posed a real threat. Laura returned to the XYLY War, venturing deeper into its labyrinthine corridors than ever before. Guided by faint signals from Echo, she discovered a chamber filled with dormant machinery unlike anything she had seen. At its center was a massive console covered in glowing symbols. When she touched it, images flooded her mind. Visions of destruction. Entire planets reduced to ash by waves of energy. It was clear. The beacon wasn't just a communication tool. It was a weapon, designed to summon unimaginable power. Back at the base, Laura shared her findings with the group. "If we activate this thing, we won't just be broadcasting our location," she explained. "We'll be inviting annihilation." Determined to stop the project, they began sneaking into restricted areas late at night, tampering with equipment, and planting false data to slow progress. But their actions did not go unnoticed. Security cameras captured glimpses of their movements, and soon General Grant was onto them. He summoned Laura to his office, his tone icy. "I've heard rumors of dissent," he said. "Let me make one thing clear. Anyone caught interfering with this operation will face severe consequences." Despite the warning, the group pressed on. They knew the stakes were too high to back down. As the final stages of the beacon's construction neared completion, they prepared for their most dangerous move yet, an attempt to disable the crystalline core itself. If successful, it would cut off access to the alien tech entirely. But the XYLY War had other plans. Dormant systems awakened, sealing off sections of the ship and trapping the rebels inside. Alarms blared as automated defenses sprang to life, targeting anyone who ventured too close to critical areas. Deep within the vessel, Echo's hologram flickered, its voice distorted but urgent. "Cycle irreversible. Prepare." As the rebels navigated the treacherous corridors, pursued by both machines and soldiers loyal to Grant, they realized the true extent of the danger they faced. The beacon wasn't just a tool. It was a trigger. And once pulled, There would be no turning back. Trapped aboard the XYLY War, the rebels moved cautiously through its shadowy corridors, their flashlights cutting through the dim light. The ship seemed alive now, humming with energy as dormant systems roared back to life. Automated defenses patrolled the halls, mechanical sentries armed with glowing weapons that crackled with alien power. Every step felt like a gamble, every corner a potential ambush. Dr. Laura Bennett led the group, her mind racing with fragments of Echo's cryptic warnings and the horrifying visions she had seen in the hidden chamber. She knew they were running out of time. If the beacon went online, it wouldn't just broadcast Earth's location. It would awaken something ancient and merciless. "We have to reach the core," she whispered urgently. "If we can destabilize it, we might stop this." Commander Alex Rivera nodded, gripping his sidearm tightly. "But how do we get past those defenses? They're everywhere." Jake Monroe, the technician, adjusted the makeshift EMP device slung over his shoulder. "This should disable them, at least for a few minutes. Enough time for us to slip through. But we'll need to move fast." The group pressed on, dodging patrols and using narrow maintenance tunnels to avoid detection. Along the way, they encountered eerie signs of the ship's awakening. Panels glowed brighter than before, symbols racing across their surfaces in chaotic patterns. Strange whispers echoed through the air, faint but unsettling. It was as if the XYLY War itself was trying to communicate, or perhaps taunt them. Finally, they reached the heart of the ship, the chamber housing the crystalline core. The massive structure pulsed with an intense, blinding light, its surface shifting like liquid metal. Surrounding it were rows of machinery, humming steadily as they prepared to channel its energy into the beacon. A countdown timer displayed on a nearby screen. 0:15:23. "We're cutting it close," Jake muttered, setting down the EMP device. "I'll overload the system. Buy us some time. You two focus on the core." As Jake worked, Laura and Alex approached the crystalline structure. Laura pulled out her tablet, scanning for vulnerabilities. "There," she exclaimed, pointing to a small panel embedded in the base of the core. "If we can disrupt the flow here, it might destabilize the entire thing." But before they could act, the sound of footsteps echoed through the chamber. General Harold Grant entered, flanked by armed soldiers. His face was grim, his voice cold. "I warned you what would happen if you interfered," he said. "Step away from the core." Laura stood her ground, clutching the tablet tightly. "You don't understand what you're doing," she pleaded. "Activating the beacon will destroy us, all of us." Grant shook his head, unyielding. "Enough stalling. Humanity needs this technology to survive. If sacrifices must be made, so be it." Before anyone could react, Echo appeared, its holographic form flickering between transparency and solidity. "Warning, irreversible cycle," it intoned, its voice louder and more urgent than before. "Creators abandoned this path, sought destruction. Heed warning." Grant hesitated, glancing at the AI. For a moment, doubt flickered in his eyes, but it vanished just as quickly. "Another trick," he snapped. "Secure them." Chaos erupted as the soldiers advanced. Alex fired his weapon, creating a diversion while Laura sprinted toward the core. Bullets ricocheted off metal walls as Jake activated the EMP device. The room plunged into darkness, the hum of machinery faltering momentarily. In the confusion, Laura reached the panel and began inputting commands. Her hands trembled, sweat dripping down her forehead as she worked against the clock. Behind her, Alex and Jake fought to hold off the soldiers, their movements desperate but determined. Suddenly, the lights came back on, brighter than ever. The core's glow intensified, bathing the chamber in a searing white light. Alarms blared as the countdown dropped below 5 minutes. Echo reappeared, its form fractured and unstable. "Too late," it whispered. "Beacon active. Signal sent." "No," Laura shouted, slamming her fist against the panel. She refused to give up, typing furiously as tears streamed down her face. There had to be a way to stop it, to undo what they had set in motion. Outside the ship, the antenna atop Horizon Base crackled with energy, sending a powerful pulse into the void. Across the galaxy, distant entities stirred, drawn by the call of the XYLY War. Humanity had made its choice, and now it would face the consequences. The chamber housing the crystalline core was chaos. The countdown timer ticked relentlessly toward zero, each second feeling like an eternity. Laura Bennett worked feverishly at the panel, her fingers flying over the keys as alarms blared and lights flashed around her. Jake Monroe and Commander Alex Rivera fought to hold off General Grant's soldiers, their movements frantic but precise. Bullets ricocheted off the walls, sparks flying as the rebels desperately tried to buy Laura more time. "Hurry!" Alex shouted, ducking behind a console as a burst of energy narrowly missed him. His voice was strained, his breaths coming in short gasps. "We can't hold them much longer." "I'm trying," Laura replied, her eyes locked on the screen. Her heart pounded in her chest as she deciphered alien symbols, searching for a way to shut down the core. But the system resisted her efforts, rejecting every command she entered. It was as if the XYLY War itself had turned against them, refusing to yield to her attempts. Echo's hologram flickered above the core, its fragmented form pulsing with an eerie light. "Signal transmitted. Cycle complete." It repeated, its voice distorted and hollow. "Creators abandoned. Destruction ensured." General Grant stood nearby, watching the scene unfold with a mix of frustration and triumph. He gestured for his soldiers to press forward, ignoring Echo's warnings. "Enough of this nonsense," he growled. "Take them out and secure the core." Jake hurled the EMP device toward the advancing soldiers, creating another brief blackout. In the momentary silence, Laura spotted something, a hidden subroutine buried deep within the alien system. It wasn't a shutdown command, but it might destabilize the core enough to disrupt the beacon. She hesitated for only a second before activating it, knowing there was no guarantee it would work, or that they'd survive the attempt. As the lights came back on, the crystalline core began to vibrate violently, its glow intensifying until it filled the entire chamber. The ground shook beneath their feet, and a deafening hum resonated through the air. Laura stumbled backward, shielding her face from the blinding light. "It's working," she yelled, though her voice was barely audible over the noise. Grant stared in disbelief, his confidence wavering for the first time. "What have you done?" he demanded, shouting to be heard over the din. Before anyone could answer, the core erupted in a surge of energy, sending a shockwave rippling through the ship. The force threw everyone to the ground, knocking weapons from hands and scattering equipment across the room. When the shaking subsided, the chamber fell eerily silent. The core's glow dimmed, its surface fractured and cracked, leaking wisps of glowing vapor. Laura climbed to her feet, coughing as she surveyed the damage. The others slowly followed, battered but alive. Jake leaned heavily on a console, blood trickling from a cut on his forehead. Alex helped Laura steady herself, his expression grim but relieved. "Did we stop it?" he asked hoarsely. "I think so," Laura replied, her voice trembling. "The core is damaged. It won't power the beacon anymore." But their victory was short-lived. Outside the ship, the antenna atop Horizon Base crackled one last time before going dark. Though the core was destabilized, the signal had already been sent. Somewhere in the vast emptiness of space, ancient entities stirred, awakened by the call of the XYLY War. Humanity had unknowingly set events into motion that could not be undone. General Grant staggered to his feet, his face pale with shock. For once, he said nothing, his usual bravado replaced by a haunted look. The weight of what they had done hung heavy in the air. As the group made their way back toward the exit, Echo's hologram appeared one final time. Its form was faint, almost transparent, as it delivered its parting message. "Cycle broken, But consequence remains. Prepare. Back at Horizon Base, the crew gathered in stunned silence, staring at the now silent antenna. Captain Ryan Carter addressed the team, his voice somber. "We've crossed a line today," he said. "And whether we're ready or not, the galaxy knows we're here." Far beyond Earth, in the cold reaches of space, shadows began to move. Whatever the Xyneris HFY had summoned was coming, and humanity would soon learn the true cost of playing with forces it didn't understand. In the days following the destabilization of the crystalline core, a heavy silence settled over Horizon Base. The once bustling facility was eerily quiet, its halls filled with tension and unease. Crew members avoided eye contact, their faces etched with guilt or fear. The beacon had been stopped, at least partially, but the signal it sent into the void lingered like a shadow over humanity's future. Dr. Laura Bennett spent most of her time alone in the lab, poring over data from the *XYY*. She couldn't shake the feeling that they had only delayed the inevitable. Echo's final warning echoed in her mind. Consequence remains. What did that mean? Had the signal reached its intended recipients? And if so, how long would it take for them to arrive? Commander Alex Rivera joined her one evening, his expression grim. "We need answers," he said, pulling up a chair. "The crew is scared, rightfully so. If we don't figure out what we're dealing with, panic will spread." Laura sighed, rubbing her temples. "I've been analyzing the transmission," she admitted. "It wasn't random. It was directed. Whoever built the *XYY* knew exactly who, or what, they were calling." Alex frowned. "You think the creators abandoned this ship because they were running from something?" "Not just something," Laura replied, turning to face him. "Something big, something powerful enough to destroy entire civilizations. That's why they disabled the ship, to keep it from falling into the wrong hands." Her words sent a chill through the room. Neither of them spoke for a moment, the weight of the situation pressing down on them. Finally, Alex broke the silence. "Then we have to prepare. Whatever's coming, we can't face it blind." Meanwhile, General Harold Grant had retreated into seclusion, his earlier arrogance replaced by a quiet desperation. He spent hours locked in his office, reviewing reports and staring at maps of nearby star systems. Though he refused to admit fault, even he couldn't deny the gravity of what they had unleashed. When Captain Ryan Carter confronted him about contingency plans, Grant snapped. "There's no plan for this," he barked. "No manual, no protocol. We're on our own." Despite his harsh tone, Carter recognized the truth in Grant's words. Humanity was unprepared for what lay ahead. The technology they had salvaged from the *XYY* offered incredible power, but also immense danger. Without fully understanding it, they risked making the same mistakes as its original creators. Back aboard the alien ship, Jake Monroe worked tirelessly to dismantle key systems, hoping to render the *XYY* inert. But every step forward revealed new layers of complexity. Panels that should have powered down remained active, glowing faintly despite the damaged core. Whispers echoed through the corridors, growing louder with each passing day. Even Echo's hologram continued to appear intermittently, delivering fragmented messages that hinted at an approaching threat. One night, while working deep within the ship, Jake stumbled upon a hidden compartment. Inside was a device unlike anything he'd seen before, a sleek, black sphere covered in shifting patterns. As he examined it, the sphere emitted a low hum, and images flooded his mind. Fleets of ships descending upon Earth, cities reduced to rubble, skies choked with ash. He dropped the object in shock, stumbling backward as the vision faded. Word of Jake's discovery spread quickly, drawing Laura and Alex back aboard the *XYY*. Together, they studied the sphere, concluding it was some kind of recording, a message left behind by the ship's creators. Its purpose was clear, a warning. The *XYY* hadn't been abandoned by accident. It had been sent as bait, designed to lure curious civilizations into activating its systems and broadcasting their location. Captain Carter called an emergency meeting to share the findings. Standing before the assembled crew, he delivered the grim news. "This ship wasn't a gift," he said. "It was a trap. By reactivating it, we've told the galaxy where to find us." The room fell silent, the reality sinking in. Humanity had taken its first steps toward the stars. But now, those stars seemed darker than ever. Far beyond Earth, shadows moved across the void, drawn by the beacon's call. Whatever was coming, it wouldn't be deterred by distance or time. As the crew dispersed, Laura gazed out a viewport at the vast emptiness of space. Somewhere out there, ancient eyes watched and waited. The question wasn't if they would come, but when. The final days at Horizon Base were a blur of activity and dread. Captain Ryan Carter worked tirelessly to prepare the facility for what might come next. He ordered the evacuation of non-essential personnel, sending them back to Earth with strict instructions to keep silent about the Xyneris HFY. For those who stayed behind, there was no choice but to face whatever threat loomed in the darkness of space. Dr. Laura Bennett led efforts to study the black sphere Jake had discovered, hoping it might hold answers, or at least clues about how to defend themselves. The device pulsed faintly, its shifting patterns hypnotic and unsettling. Images continued to flash in their minds whenever they touched it, visions of destruction so vivid they left the researchers shaken. Laura realized the sphere wasn't just a warning. It was also a map, showing coordinates where the creators of the Xyneris had once faced their doom. They fought back, she whispered during one late-night session, but it wasn't enough. Commander Alex Rivera focused on fortifying the base, turning Horizon into a makeshift fortress. Weapons systems scavenged from the alien ship were hastily integrated into Earth's defenses, though no one knew if they would work against an enemy they couldn't yet imagine. Soldiers trained around the clock, their drills marked by grim determination rather than hope. Even General Harold Grant seemed subdued, his usual bravado replaced by quiet resignation. As preparations continued, strange occurrences aboard the Xyneris grew more frequent. Lights flickered unpredictably, machinery hummed louder, and whispers echoed through the corridors, now accompanied by faint footsteps that never seemed to belong to anyone present. Echo's hologram appeared less often, its form increasingly fragmented. When it did materialize, its messages were cryptic but urgent. "Prepare," they approach. Far beyond Earth, the signal sent by the beacon reached its destination. Ancient entities stirred, roused from eons of dormancy by the call of the Xyneris. They were vast and incomprehensible, beings of energy and shadow that moved between stars like predators stalking prey. To them, humanity was insignificant, a fleeting spark in the endless night. But sparks could become fires, and fires must be extinguished. Back at Horizon Base, sensors detected movement in deep space. At first, it was subtle, a faint ripple in the fabric of the galaxy. Then came flashes of light, distant but unmistakable. Ships emerged from the void, their forms sleek and menacing, unlike anything humanity had ever seen. They moved with purpose, heading directly for Earth. Captain Carter gathered the remaining crew in the command center, his voice steady despite the fear etched on every face. "This is it," he said. "Whatever happens next, we stand together. We made this mess, and now we'll do everything we can to protect our world." As the alien fleet drew closer, Lieutenant Emily Dawson volunteered to pilot a prototype fighter equipped with alien tech recovered from the Xyneris. Her mission was clear: fly straight into the heart of the crystalline core and destabilize it completely, severing the connection between the Xyneris and its creators. It was a suicide run, but someone had to make the sacrifice. With tears streaming down her face, Emily climbed into the cockpit. The engines roared to life as she shot toward the damaged core, pursued by enemy ships. In her final moments, she activated the overload sequence, flooding the core with energy until it erupted in a blinding explosion. The shockwave obliterated the Xyneris HFY and took Emily with it. The alien fleet paused, confused by the sudden loss of their target. Slowly, they turned away, retreating into the depths of space. Humanity had won. For now. On Earth, news of Emily's heroism spread quickly. People mourned her loss while celebrating her bravery. But Captain Carter knew better than to call it victory. As stars twinkled above, he stared out at the horizon, wondering if the beacon's signal had truly been silenced, or if something worse still waited in the shadows.